All right, well, this is exciting. Google Canada is out with its year in review, highlighting the searches that define 2025.
Now, the search engine says our national pride was certainly on full display, with the Blue Jays dominating trends, including searches for Trey Savage, who many of us didn't know really until the playoffs, or Bo Bichette, or that man right there, George Springer, also Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Then there was pop culture, Canadians trying to figure out what the heck a Labubu was, these viral toys that were taking over feeds. And then there was that internet slang term, 6-7.
Joining us live now for a closer look at all these Google search trends is Hibaq Ali, Google Trends expert. Hibaq, thanks so much for joining us this morning to talk about it. We love these lists because it's always fascinating to get into the collective minds of what Canadians are all curious about and searching for. So let's begin with the top searching trends for people. We touched on the athletes. We know the Blue Jays were a big draw, but there's also categories like people in general and people who passed away. Of course, Charlie Kirk topping the list of people who passed away, but Diane Keaton also making kind of headlines in other categories, which you'll get to. I was surprised by Ed Gein, though, because I binged that show on Netflix, and that didn't come up till later in the year. So to have Mark Carney than Ed Gein, did that surprise you?
It did surprise me. This was an election year, and Canadians were following the election every step of the way, from Trudeau's resignation to Mark Carney's campaign. So not surprised to see him topping the list. Mm-hmm. We also saw other politicians like Zoran Mamdani and Jagmeet Singh. Ed Gein was an interesting one. Of course, the Netflix crime drama series about him really raised his name back into, popular culture.
Mm-hmm. On the pop culture side of things, Hibaq, too, it's interesting. I noticed that Happy Gilmore 2 tops the list there in terms of movies. I think, could that partly be that there were so many cameos in that movie? I think people might have been Googling, hey, who did I just see? Who was in it? I mean, that just seems to be, it's like, that must have been like just Google fuel right there.
Lots of cameos, and I think Canadians were really excited about Adam Sandler's return to the greens with this one. In our movies category, we saw a lot of interest around nostalgic films, too. So, movies like How to Train Your Dragon and a Minecraft movie were other popular choices for Canadians this year. So I think it was the nostalgia element that really helped Happy Gilmore here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when it comes to pop culture, we can't forget about the Labubu, something which I only found about in the later half of this year because I saw it on my friend's purse, and she was like, what? You don't know what this is? And they can be really expensive, but also Bianca Censori, her dress or not dress. This is, of course, Kanye West's partner. Those top the searches for pop culture. What else on that list kind of popped into your head?
So the pop culture category are searches that really drove public conversation this year. So like you mentioned, Bianca Censori's dress was a really interesting one because it kind of earned immediate reaction and debate online. Another big one that reverberated all across the internet this year was astronomer and Andy Byron, who was on the list in our people category. But if you'll remember that Coldplay moment that really went viral this year.
Right.
Put him and his company, Astronomer, back into public spotlight.
Hibaq, I'm curious if you overlapped the U.S. search trends from Google with the Canadian search trends. How much is that Venn diagram, similar, or how many are sort of outside the main circle?
So it's a great question. Canadians are very worldly, and in years past, we were constantly searching about news beyond our borders. We did see a lot of that this year, but this year Canadians were also looking inward. So there's a lot of trends this year that happened right here in Canada. Of course, the Blue Jays and the elections being those top trending searches, but culturally we are right in sync with the rest of the world. So when we look at across our pop culture category, that's where we really see a lot of the similarities between Canada and the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and finally, Hibaq, I want to touch on the top trending searches in the what, why, and how categories. I mean, obviously, questions about what does 6-7 mean? Why is Canada Post on strike? Baseball questions to Mark Carney's age and episodes in The Summer I Turned Pretty. So when people type these questions, is Google now just giving kind of the default AI answer to a lot of these questions?
No, so our AI tools are obviously there to help people find the information that they're looking for. But like we always do, we're scanning the web for the most relevant information for what people are looking for. So it's going to be a bit of a combination of both.
Yeah, I was curious about that. The fact that most searches now come with an AI search at the top, and then you can go to the sort of other search beyond that. Is that a trend that Google is going to expand on next year?
AI mode might be one of those searches where we're really highlighting what people are looking for in that category this year, but we haven't done that yet.
Okay.
Okay, very interesting stuff. I mean, even why do cats flop down in front of you are one of the questions. Why are eggs so expensive? I mean, the list goes on and on. Can people find a list of these on a website in case they want to delve further into these?
Absolutely. You can go to trends.google.com and you'll be able to find both the Canadian trends as well as the global ones.
Okay, we can check it out and compare and contrast. Hibaq Ali is the Google Trends expert. Hibaq, appreciate the conversation about 2025. Thanks so much for being here.